All right, let's talk some totals. Taking a look at your 5 highest and 5 lowest win totals on the board this season. The Bills and Bucks going off with the best number at 11.5. Packers coming in at 11 following 3 consecutive 13-win seasons. The Chiefs and Big Red trying to keep that over streak going. 10.5 is their number, as is the case for the defending champion Rams. On the other side of that coin, Texans 4.5 with plenty of question marks. Falcons, life beyond Matty Ice, looking at 5. The Jets with 5.5. The Seahawks sitting at 6. The Lions as well. All right, let's turn the numbers into dollars with CBS football analyst Emory Hunt. Emory, we're going to kind of open the board up here to some of your favorites, beginning on the NFC side, and it's a drum you've been beaten for the last few weeks here, and it's one I continue to hear the tune heading up to kick. Your top NFC win total to go over is who?
There was a couple of teams that were vying for this lucky spot that I'm about to say, but it's clear-cut the Saints going over 8 wins. To me, they are the best team in the NFC South. They have the best defense in the NFC. This football team with a healthy Jameis Winston should crush this number, this over number. The only question is you still don't know how many games Alvin Kamara will miss with the suspension, and they have some depth questions at running back. Will they rely on the undrafted rookie free agent Abram Smith out of Baylor? That's a big question. Or will they go to one of these teams that are flushed with talent at running back? Dallas, Los Angeles, they have a ton of depth there. Detroit. Will they pluck one of those guys in the trade? So that's the biggest question mark in my opinion. But everywhere else, this team is stacked. They're talented. They are very good, and they should crush this over number easily.
What is it again? Can you give me it again? The America's quarterback is what we're going with this season?
America's quarterback, Jameis Winston. When you watch his leadership ability out there with his teammates, send him overseas, let him go talk to the troops. Jameis can rally guys up and get a win.
He plays with a joy that I find very entertaining. We'll see if he can get the job done this season. We're really talking about expectation here, and expectation for this next team has been high, and it remains there even though we have a quarterback change. Your NFC total to go under is who?
Yeah, that's a great lead-in too, Joe, because you look at San Francisco going under 10 wins, and it's not because we don't think they're talented. We know they're talented, but when you factor in breaking in a new quarterback in Trey Lance, the disgruntledness right now of what they have in wide receiver Deebo Samuel, you still don't know if he's going to be out there, if they're going to trade him. How Trey Lance is going to do. We know Kyle Shanahan is a fantastic coach and will scheme up the run game. He'll scheme up big plays. We know that defense can make plays within their front 7. I still worry about the back 7. So there are some questions here. So I feel like under 10 is a good number to land on with San Francisco. Far too many questions to feel super confident in those guys going into the season.
We're always looking for the sharp play, Emory, and you start dancing around those double digits, and you're sweating this thing out late into the final month of the season. And here's a team with the San Francisco 49ers that we can get to that under early if you take a look at that schedule. But when we're talking overs and pivoting to the AFC side, we're probably not best suited to dance around those high numbers, 11s, 11.5s. Take me somewhere in the middle for an over when you take a look at the AFC.
I'm looking at Pittsburgh because when you look at Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in his NFL career. And now with 17 games, you won't get the luxury of having that 8-8 record. So when you look at the Steelers number set at 7.5, you have to say over. If they are going to have his first losing season, it's going to be 8-9 and not under that number. Because one thing I love about Tomlin, what makes him such a fantastic coach, and I don't think he gets enough credit for doing, his in-game adjustments. They're able to adjust on the fly rather well and seamlessly. So they adjust within the game. They tend to find what's working. They're not married to a scheme coming into this ball game. Hey, this run game is working. Let's stick with the run. The pass game is clicking. Let's throw it out there and air it out across the yard. So I love the in-game adjustments. I love that his team is well coached fundamentally, and they still have a very good defense. So defense with their improved run game, and whether it's Trubisky or Pickett, I think those guys can carry this offense enough to where they're going to cruise over 7.5 wins. I think 8 is the number for Pittsburgh, maybe 9, because you never really know. They're going to win a game that they don't expect to win, that we don't expect them to win, but they fully expect to win. I do think Pittsburgh is much better than what this number is giving them credit for.
500 or better every season since 2007. Mike Tomlin setting the expectation and exceeding it year after year. Really just asking the question here of, is this a 500 ball club, whether that's Kenny Two Gloves or Mitch out there freaking with his new team. Likely those guys are going to be put in a position to succeed. Let's talk about the flip side of the coin once again. AFC under. What's a number you have circled, a team that maybe is a bit overvalued right now?
I'm looking at the Buffalo Bills, and I think the Bills are a strong contender to get all the way through the playoffs and get to the Super Bowl. However, because this number is set at 11.5, I'm not buying the hook. They won 11 games last year, but here's the thing. It's not because I think there's a drop-off in talent for Buffalo. I feel like everyone else in the AFC East has gotten significantly better, especially the Miami Dolphins, especially the New York Jets. I think those two teams could even split with Buffalo, so it's going to keep them away from that over here with 12 wins, so to speak. But I think Buffalo still should be able to get 11 wins. I'm buying more into 11 than 11.5 or 12. So for me, because everyone else has gotten better behind them, they're going to get a strong challenge from Miami and also the Jets. So this is going to be a very fascinating division to watch. But right now, I have to go under 11.5. I'm afraid of that hook for the Bills.
All right, nobody circles the unders like Emory Hunt. Emory, let's venture off the beaten path here. Your top future bet to make right now, something we should walk to the window, take a nice long, hard look at, and maybe buy that ticket. It's going to pay off down the road.
Let's add an S to that bet, that future bet. Let's say bets.
Bets.
Let's go with my favorite parlay bet that you have to play right now. I'm about to stack this together, stack these blocks like Milton Hershey. Let's look at the Saints right now, right? We're going to go over 8 wins. That's number one. That's the first leg. The second leg, winning over 3 games in the division, which also means they will win the division. Add those two to the parlay, and also they will make the playoffs because they won the division. And when you add the coup de grace, the final part of this parlay, America's quarterback, Jameis Winston, winning comeback player of the year. So you add all of those up and you win yourself a lot of money. To me, this is an easy bet to make. All of these things are not only realistic, but they will actually happen because that's how confident I am in the Saints defense, the weapons around Jameis Winston, Jameis Winston's health and his ability to work touchdown and check down the passing game. The run game will get better as the year goes on, which means Alvin Kamara will come back from his suspension. This team will be humming by the time they go to the playoffs. So for me, all of these legs of this parlay will hit, win yourself a lot of money. And if you look at the bottom right of the screen here, you'll see my Twitter handle where you can donate to the Emory Hunt Suit Fund. So therefore, you can help parlay some of these winnings into more out.
If that parlay hits, Emory, there is no suit fund. You're funding your own suits in the seasons to come as he is marching into a winner with the Saints. Emory Hunt, eating good down in the bayou. Thank you, my friend. All right, let's take a look once again at these plays. Starting off a little bit more reserved. We are playing the Saints over their 8 wins. That's going to cost you a price at -150. 49ers, an interesting under there with the quarterback transition, maybe costing you a win or two there. Steelers over the 7.5. We're playing history. Mike Tomlin, 500 or better forever. And then the Bills, just a hook too high. Says it's an 11-win team. We're going to play the Bills under. And here is your Saints marching in futures parlay play. Jump on it, $25, netting you more than $5,000 in return. If this all comes to fruition, that's the Saints over the 8. That's over 3 division wins, which makes sense if we're playing them over the 8. Winning the division at +380. That's where we get a ton of value. And then Jameis Winston, comeback player of the year, 5-1 value in that parlay. Stack it up. Better than 219-1 to your dollar.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.